Welcome to Black X Wolf Entertainment, the channel where legendary tales come to life. If you're looking for captivating adventures and unforgettable characters, you're in the right place. Today we dive into our latest saga. Get ready for a journey through time where heroes from different eras must unite to save reality itself. In a world where time is a fragile thread, one cataclysmic event can unravel the very fabric of reality. A sudden disturbance in the time continuum pulls together an unlikely trio of warriors, each hailing from vastly different eras.
What sorcery has brought me to this place?
This is not the battlefield I recognize. Where have I been summoned?
Moments later, Flynn, a soldier from a dystopian future, materializes. His futuristic gear and weaponry shine ominously against the backdrop of uncertainty.
Looks like we're not alone, and this isn't just some random mix-up.
The Time Syndicate, a secretive organization bent on controlling time, has detected the anomaly that brought the travelers together. They will stop at nothing to eliminate these potential threats to their plans.
We must fight together. We may be strangers, but united we stand a chance.
Agreed. Each of us has faced death before. This will be no different.
Let's show them they picked the wrong time to mess with us.
As the first wave of Syndicate agents lunges forward, the travelers spring into action. Kaya swings his sword with precision, parrying an attack with practiced skill. Sayuri moves fluidly, her katana slicing through the air with lethal grace, while Flynn unleashes bursts of energy from his futuristic weapon, illuminating the darkness around them. In the heat of battle, they fight not only for their lives, but for the very fabric of time itself. Each clash of steel reverberates with the weight of their histories, propelling them toward an uncertain future. But this victory is bittersweet. The ground beneath them trembles as a mysterious figure emerges from the shadows, a woman draped in ethereal fabric that shimmers like time itself, her voice carrying an urgency that demands attention.
You have been chosen because the timeline is collapsing. The Time Syndicate seeks to rewrite history, and you are the key to stopping them.
Chosen? We know nothing of this place or your intentions.
Time has brought you together for a reason. Your unique abilities are crucial to restoring balance. Without your help, all of existence is at stake.
What if we refuse? What then?
The choice is yours, but remember, every moment you hesitate, the Syndicate grows stronger. Time waits for no one.
As she fades into the shadows, the weight of their decision hangs heavy in the air. United by circumstance, yet divided by their pasts, the travelers must confront the truth of their situation. This is just the beginning of their adventure. What challenges await as they navigate the complexities of time and the shadowy Syndicate? Join us next time as we delve deeper into the fate of history rests in their hands. Thank you for watching Black X Wolf Entertainment. If you enjoyed this episode, share and subscribe for more thrilling tales and epic adventures. Until next time, stay legendary.
Welcome back to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legendary tales come to life. Today, we dive into... In this chapter, our heroes leap into medieval Europe, facing knights and warlords as they strive to mend a dangerous time fracture. Let's begin. The travelers, Caius, Sayuri, and Flynn, gather around a holographic map depicting medieval Europe. Their mission clear: repair a dangerous time fracture threatening to alter history. Tension simmers as they prepare to jump.
This era is filled with valor and treachery. We must tread carefully.
We must work as one. Our survival depends on it.
Let's hope the Syndicate doesn't follow us. We need to stay ahead.
Amidst the vibrant sights of medieval Europe, the travelers find themselves in a village square as a group of armored knights, led by the warlord Sir Roderick, demand tribute from the frightened villagers.
Bring forth your offerings, defy me, and you will face my blade.
We cannot allow this tyranny to continue.
But we're outnumbered. We need a plan.
We'll create a diversion. If we can rally the villagers, they might join us.
The travelers quickly formulate a plan. Flynn rigs a nearby cart to create a distraction, while Caius and Sayuri lead the villagers to stand against the knights. Inspired by the travelers, the villagers prepare to fight back. Sayuri moves with precision, her katana slicing through the air, while Caius defends the villagers with strength. In the heat of battle, they find their rhythm, their skills merging into a formidable force. But the shadow of the Time Syndicate looms larger as a cloaked figure watches from the outskirts. Flynn, we're being watched. The Syndicate is here. As the last night falls, the cloaked figure steps forward, an agent of the Time Syndicate. The travelers brace themselves for confrontation, realizing the stakes have escalated. Sayuri, we will not let you harm this world. The agent lunges forward, and a fierce battle ensues as the travelers combine their skills. The struggle intensifies as the boundaries of time ripple dangerously. The travelers must defeat the agent and stabilize the fracture before it's too late. With a strategic maneuver, Sayuri distracts the agent while Caius delivers a powerful blow, sending the agent reeling. Flynn activates a device that channels energy to seal the fracture, but the agent rises, determined to stop them. Caius, Flynn, now, we need to finish this. As the energy surges, the fracture begins to stabilize, but the agent makes one last desperate attack. In a coordinated effort, the travelers strike, bringing the agent down. Can our heroes secure the timeline and fend off the Time Syndicate's interference? Join us next time for Chapter 3 of Thank you for watching Black X Wolf Entertainment. If you enjoyed this episode, like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling tales and epic adventures. Until next time, stay legendary. Welcome back to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legendary tales come to life. Our journey continues as our team of rogue time travelers finds themselves in a dystopian future. The stakes have never been higher, and the fracture in time threatens to erase everything. Let's dive into Chapter 3. After narrowly surviving their mission in medieval Europe, the travelers have little time to recover before being pulled into a new time period, a future they never imagined. The moment they step through the portal, they are overwhelmed by the sight of crumbling skyscrapers, broken streets, and the constant hum of machines.
This isn't the future I was expecting. What happened here?
A world built on technology, yet it's in ruins. We need to be careful. Whoever's in control here won't be friendly.
Stay alert. This fracture could be anywhere, and in a world like this, the Syndicate might have already infiltrated it.
They push forward, navigating through narrow alleys littered with discarded tech and remnants of human civilization. The air is heavy with the weight of loss and despair. As they venture deeper into the city, the travelers begin to realize that this future is a direct consequence of uncontrolled technological advancement. The fracture in time has allowed brutal factions to rise to power, each vying for control over the remaining resources. Suddenly, a group of heavily armored scavengers emerges from the shadows, blocking their path. Their leader steps forward, eyes cold and calculating.
You don't belong here, but maybe you have something we can use.
The travelers glance at each other, unsure of whether to fight or negotiate.
We're not looking for trouble. We just need to pass through.
Everyone needs something here. What makes you so different?
Before they can answer, a voice interrupts from behind, a member of a rival faction. Tensions rise as a standoff forms between the two groups. The travelers, caught in the middle, have no choice but to act quickly.
We can't waste time here. This fracture won't wait.
Enough. If you want to survive, you'll let us through. We're here to stop something much worse than you can imagine.
Her calm but deadly tone catches their attention. Reluctantly, the scavengers step aside, allowing the travelers to pass, though their eyes never leave the group. Moving swiftly, the travelers find themselves at the heart of the city, a sprawling, decayed hub of advanced technology. Towering above them is a colossal structure, a relic of the past that now houses the very fracture they've been sent to repair. But it's guarded, heavily. The travelers hide in the shadows, surveying the building's defenses. Flynn kneels, activating a small device that scans for the fracture's location.
It's inside, but the structure, it's been overrun by the Syndicate. They've been here long before us.
So, the Syndicate's behind this dystopia. They've allowed time to spiral out of control here.
It's more than that. They're protecting the fracture, using it to bend this future to their will.
The team knows the only way to fix the fracture is by infiltrating the Syndicate's stronghold, but it's a suicide mission without help. Reluctantly, they return to the Scavengers, proposing an alliance against their common enemy. The Scavengers, driven by desperation, agree. They've been suffering under the Syndicate's control for years, and this is their one chance to take back what's theirs. As night falls, the Travelers lead the Scavengers in a coordinated strike against the Syndicate's forces. The battle is fierce, with casualties on both sides. Inside the building, the Travelers locate the fracture, but repairing it is more difficult than anticipated.
It's more unstable than we thought. I need time to fix this.
Whatever you need, do it fast.
While Flynn works on stabilizing the fracture, Caius and Sayuri fend off wave after wave of Syndicate agents. The air crackles with energy as the fracture begins to pulse dangerously, threatening to expand and consume everything in its path.
Flynn, now!
At the last possible moment, Flynn activates the device, sealing the fracture. But as the Syndicate retreats, they leave behind a message. This isn't over.
You've won this battle, but the war across time has just begun.
The Travelers may have stopped the immediate threat, but the future remains uncertain. The Syndicate's influence runs deep, and with each fracture they repair, the stakes grow higher. The fracture may be sealed, but the Syndicate's reach extends across time itself. Can our Travelers stay one step ahead, or will they fall victim to a future ruled by chaos? Find out in the next chapter of... Thanks for watching Black X Wolf Entertainment. If you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legendary tales. Until next time, stay legendary.
Welcome back to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legendary tales come to life. In our series, our team of rogue time travelers faces ever greater dangers as they race to protect the space-time continuum. Last time they fought through a dystopian future, but now they're headed somewhere even more dangerous, ancient Egypt. Let's dive into Chapter 4.
The Travelers' victory in the dystopian future came at a cost. The Syndicate is gaining strength, and their influence has spread across multiple timelines. Flynn, Sayuri, and Caius are weary from their last battle, but their mission offers no respite. Without warning, they are pulled into another era, this time ancient Egypt. The scorching heat hits them as they step out of the portal, standing before the colossal pyramids. Sand stretches in all directions under a blazing sun, while the distant Nile snakes across the horizon.
I think I'd rather deal with the future again. At least there were air conditioners.
Focus. We're not here for sightseeing. The fracture could be anywhere, and the Syndicate may already be entrenched.
Before long, they realize they're not alone. Figures appear in the distance, warriors in golden armor carrying spears and shields led by a figure dressed in regal robes. These are no ordinary soldiers. Their eyes glow with an unnatural energy. The Travelers are immediately on guard.
They're under someone's control. Something's not right.
That something might be the pharaoh we're looking for.
As the soldiers approach, the leader raises a hand, and with a flash of light, the ground beneath the Travelers' feet trembles. Sand shifts, forming towering walls around them, trapping them in a labyrinth of golden sand. The Travelers find themselves separated within the maze. Each must use their skills to navigate the traps and illusions designed to keep intruders away from the pharaoh's temple. Meanwhile, Sayuri moves silently, her eyes scanning for weaknesses in the walls. Her training as a samurai sharpens her instincts as she dodges traps that spring from the ground, pits, swinging blades, and falling stones. Sayuri, I've seen worse. Just another challenge. Farther away, Caius uses his brute strength to force his way through the maze, breaking down barriers with sheer power. His impatience grows with each dead end. Caius, this pharaoh better be worth it. As they struggle through the maze, the Travelers discover symbols etched into the walls, hieroglyphics that speak of a pharaoh blessed with eternal life granted by a fracture in time. The very timeline has warped around him, giving him near godlike powers over both life and death. Eventually, the travelers reunite at the entrance of an enormous temple, its towering pillars adorned with golden carvings of ancient gods. Inside, the temple is lit by torches, casting shadows that flicker across the stone walls. The air is heavy with the smell of incense and something darker, something twisted by time. They enter the grand hall of the temple, where the pharaoh waits on his golden throne. His presence is overwhelming, taller than any man draped in golden robes, with a staff that crackles with energy. His eyes glow with the same unnatural light as his soldiers. The travelers know they are facing something far beyond human. Pharaoh, you dare stand before me, travelers of time? I have conquered death itself. My power stretches across eternity, and you are but fleeting shadows. The travelers exchange a glance. This will not be an easy fight. The battle begins as the pharaoh summons waves of energy, bending reality to his will. The travelers dodge blasts of power, struggling to get close enough to strike. Flynn works furiously to adjust his tech, searching for a way to disrupt the pharaoh's control over the fracture. Flynn, frustrated. His power, it's feeding off the fracture itself. We need to destabilize it. Sayuri, leave it to me. Sayuri moves like lightning, using her agility to evade the pharaoh's attacks, but every time she gets close, he shifts the very fabric of the room, forcing her back. Caius takes a more direct approach, charging at the pharaoh with all his strength. But the pharaoh simply waves his staff, and Caius is thrown across the room by an invisible force. Caius, gritting his teeth. This guy's tougher than I thought.
Just when it seems the pharaoh is unstoppable, Flynn manages to create a disruption in the fracture. The temple begins to tremble, cracks forming in the walls as the timeline struggles to right itself. The pharaoh's control begins to weaken. Flynn, now! While he's vulnerable!
Asterisk Sayuri takes the opportunity, her blade cutting through the air as she strikes the pharaoh's staff, shattering it in a flash of light. The pharaoh lets out a roar of fury as his power collapses in on itself.
You may have won this battle, but time itself will betray you. The Syndicate is everywhere.
The pharaoh crumbles to dust, his centuries of stolen life finally catching up with him. The temple collapses around them as the fracture seals itself, erasing the unnatural power that had warped this timeline. The travelers escape just as the temple falls into ruin, leaving behind only the quiet sands of the desert.
Another fracture fixed, but it feels like we're just putting out fires.
We are, but as long as the Syndicate's out there, we don't have a choice.
They won't stop, and neither will we.
The travelers look out over the vast desert, knowing that their mission is far from over. The Syndicate's reach is growing, and with each fracture they repair, the threat looms larger.
The travelers have triumphed once again, but the challenges ahead grow ever more dangerous. Can they continue to outwit the Syndicate, or will time itself be their undoing? Stay tuned for the next chapter of Thanks for watching Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legends are born. If you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales. Until next time, stay legendary.
Welcome back to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where we bring you thrilling adventures and tales that bend the very fabric of reality. If you've been following along with Quantum Shadow's Time Travelers Unbound, then you know our team of rogue time travelers has already faced dystopian futures, ancient pharaohs, and fractures in time that could rewrite history, but their journey isn't over yet. Today's chapter is a turning point where loyalty is tested and trust crumbles under the weight of suspicion. Join us as we dive into Chapter 5, Betrayal in the Ranks. Chapter 5, Betrayal in the Ranks. The team has been pushed to their limits, jumping from one fractured timeline to the next, barely managing to keep history from unraveling, but cracks have begun to form, not just in the timeline, but within the group itself. Flynn, rubbing his temples, clearly frustrated. Every time we think we're getting closer to understanding the Syndicate's plan, something slips through the cracks. Someone's feeding them information. This fracture wasn't random. Someone had to know we'd be here. Caius, arms crossed, skeptical. "And you think it's one of us?" Sayuri stays silent, her eyes fixed on the holographic map, but her tension is palpable. Distrust has crept into their once tight-knit group, and the strain is beginning to show. For weeks now, the team has sensed that something isn't right. Every time they move to repair a fracture, the Syndicate seems to be one step ahead. Someone has been leaking their plans. As the reality sinks in that a traitor may be among them, their unity begins to fracture. As they continue their mission, the suspicion lingers like a dark cloud over every conversation, every decision. Flynn, the group's tech expert, doubles his efforts to track down the source of the leaks. But what he finds only deepens the mystery.
It doesn't make sense. These encryption patterns, they're identical to ours. Whoever's feeding the Syndicate information has access to our systems.
Then it has to be someone inside the team.
Are you accusing me?
I'm accusing anyone who's given the Syndicate an advantage. We've all had access to the same data, the same plans. Someone's compromising the mission.
Tensions rise as accusations start flying. Trust, once solid, now hangs by a thread. And with the timeline in constant danger, there's no room for second-guessing.
We have to repair the fracture before the Syndicate uses this tech to completely alter the future. If this timeline holds, the world we know will never exist. They knew we were coming, again.
As the battle unfolds, it becomes clear someone's been tipping off the Syndicate, and the consequences are devastating.
It can't be.
The signs were always there. Small inconsistencies, decisions that didn't add up. Sayuri has been leading them into danger. Her strategies just a little too convenient for the Syndicate's forces. And now, Flynn knows the truth he's been dreading.
You've been working with them, haven't you?
You're smarter than I gave you credit for, but it doesn't matter now. The Syndicate's plan is already in motion.
The betrayal is complete. Sayuri has been the Syndicate's agent all along, feeding them information, guiding the team into carefully laid traps. Flynn and Caius are left reeling, their unity shattered as the mission takes a dark turn. With Sayuri's betrayal now out in the open, the team is at a breaking point, but the mission to repair the timeline can't wait. The fracture in London is still tearing reality apart, and the Syndicate's plan is closer than ever to succeeding. Sayuri's betrayal has torn the team apart. The time travelers are now more vulnerable than ever, and the Syndicate is closing in. How will Flynn and Caius move forward with their mission, knowing that one of their own was working against them all along? Can the fractures in time be repaired before it's too late? Thanks for watching. The stakes have never been higher for our time-traveling heroes. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more epic adventures in. There's more danger, intrigue and betrayal to come, so stay tuned. And as always, stay legendary.
Welcome to the home of immersive storytelling and epic adventures that stretch across time and space. Today we continue the journey with, in the last episode, tensions rose as our team discovered a traitor in their midst. Sayuri had been secretly working with the Shadow Syndicate all along. The team now faces a shattered bond, but with the timeline in jeopardy, they have no choice but to push forward. Join us as we dive into Chapter 6, where time itself becomes the battlefield, and the cost of failure is rewriting history as we know it. Following Sayuri's betrayal, the team finds themselves more fractured than ever. Trust is gone, replaced by a gnawing sense of suspicion. But with the timeline crumbling around them, they have no choice but to confront the next challenge, an all-out assault by the Shadow Syndicate across multiple key historical moments. And this time, the stakes are higher than ever. The time travelers stand in front of their temporal interface, watching in stunned silence as it flashes warnings. 3 major points in history are under simultaneous attack. The Syndicate, emboldened by Sayuri's betrayal, has launched a plan to alter not one but several key events that could disrupt the entire continuum.
They're trying to tear the timeline apart. 3 fractures at once. If we don't stop them, history itself could unravel. We won't just lose one era. The whole continuum could collapse.
We've already been fighting with our backs against the wall, and now this? How are we supposed to stop them?
Flynn, ever the strategist, pulls up data on each event. The first, a pivotal moment in ancient Rome, where the assassination of Julius Caesar threatens to go off script. The second, a critical battle in the American Revolution, where the Syndicate plans to arm British forces with futuristic technology. And the third, a major scientific breakthrough in the early 21st century, which, if altered, could erase countless technological advancements.
We split up. It's the only way. We have to handle each event at the same time. There's no other option.
The team is forced to divide, each taking on one of these critical moments. But with Sayuri's betrayal fresh in their minds, distrust lingers. They no longer know who they can count on.
Flynn takes on ancient Rome, moving through the streets of the city as the infamous Ides of March draws near. He watches from the shadows as the Senate prepares for one of history's most infamous betrayals. But something is off. The timeline is diverging. Caesar is being warned, tipped off to the plot against him. If he survives this, the Roman Empire could grow beyond anything we've ever known. The Syndicate is trying to create an empire that spans across time. As Flynn rushes to restore the timeline, he faces a moral dilemma. Saving the timeline means letting Caesar die, allowing one of history's darkest moments to play out as it should. His every instinct screams against it, but Flynn knows, if he doesn't intervene, the future is lost. Sometimes, we have to let history take its course.
Meanwhile, Caius is deep in the American Revolution, standing alongside George Washington as the Battle of Trenton looms. But this isn't the battle he remembers from history. British forces are equipped with futuristic weapons, energy rifles, combat drones. The revolution is about to be crushed before it even begins. The Syndicate's gone too far this time. He steps in, aiding Washington's forces with whatever limited tech he has. But the battle is fierce. For every British drone he takes down, 2 more seem to rise. As musket shots echo around him, Caius fights not just for the revolution, but for the entire future. We need to hold the line. The future depends on this moment.
Sayuri, now revealed as a traitor, leads a Syndicate assault in the near future. Her mission, sabotage a scientific breakthrough in quantum computing that would have allowed humanity to make its next great leap forward. The facility is on lockdown, its researchers unaware of the impending threat. She moves through the shadows, intent on completing her mission, when she encounters one of her former allies, Flynn. You knew this would tear us apart. How could you betray everything we fought for?
This was never about you. The Syndicate has the power to reshape time, to create a better future. One without all the mistakes we've lived through.
A future that you're trying to control. The two engage in a tense battle of words, their history together making the confrontation all the more painful. But Flynn knows he can't let Sayuri destroy this key moment in history. The future, his future, their future, depends on it.
With the timeline mostly restored, the travelers regroup, tired, battered, but victorious. Yet something doesn't sit right with Flynn and Caius. Sayuri's plans remain unclear, her motives shrouded in mystery, and while they manage to prevent catastrophe, they know the battle isn't over. The Syndicate's reach is long, and their ambitions extend beyond anything the travelers have faced before. The Battle of Eris has ended, but at what cost? Sayuri's betrayal has changed everything, and the fractures in time are far from sealed. Flynn and Caius may have won today's battle, but the war for the timeline is only just beginning. What will happen next as our time travelers prepare for the ultimate confrontation with the Syndicate? As the travelers regroup and tensions mount, the future has never looked so uncertain. Thank you for joining us for another thrilling chapter of... Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-pounding adventures through time and space. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next episode, where the stakes get even higher. Until then, stay legendary. Welcome back to your source for epic tales of adventure and the unknown. We're diving into the latest chapter of, in our last episode, the identity of the traitor was revealed, and now the stakes are even higher. The team must face their greatest challenge yet, a paradox that could tear the very fabric of reality apart. Will they succeed, or will this be the end of all timelines? Let's find out in Chapter 7. Chapter 7. The aftermath of the leaves the team fractured and uncertain, but as the dust begins to settle, a new threat emerges, one unlike any they've ever faced before. The Syndicate's manipulations of time have created a dangerous paradox, a ripple so catastrophic that reality itself is starting to unravel. The time travelers stand in front of their interface, staring in horror as the display flickers with warnings. Data streams past too quickly to process. Timelines colliding, entire historical events vanishing from existence. The paradox is here.
This is worse than anything we've ever faced. The Syndicate's been pushing too hard, changing too many key events. Time is fracturing faster than we can repair it.
So what's our next move? We can't let everything just fall apart like this. If we don't stop it now, the future's gone. All futures are gone.
They know what must be done, but the task ahead is monumental. Repairing a paradox means untangling layers of history, every change rippling outwards, destabilizing countless timelines. One wrong move, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Flynn arrives in the bustling city, but the streets are in chaos. People are vanishing. Historical figures who should be pillars of history are flickering in and out of existence.
It's worse than I imagined. Every moment we delay, more of history gets rewritten. The invention of the telescope, gone. Da Vinci's sketches, fading from memory. If I can't fix this, the entire course of human discovery will be erased.
Flynn scrambles to reset the timeline, restoring key moments, but each change he makes only seems to intensify the paradox. As he works, he's confronted by agents of the Syndicate, determined to stop him from reversing the damage. Meanwhile, Caius finds himself in feudal Japan, where the birth of a famous shogunate has been disrupted, throwing the region into chaos. Warlords vie for power, but the future Caius knows is slowly disappearing.
The Syndicate has no limits. They've destabilized centuries of history here, turning this entire era into a war zone. I've got to fix this before all of Japan collapses into an endless civil war.
As he fights to restore the proper flow of history, Caius realizes that the Syndicate's paradox has altered not just the present, but the very fabric of time in unpredictable ways. Every decision could undo or worsen the fractures. Sayuri, now fully aligned with the Syndicate, confronts the travelers. She stands at the heart of the paradox, manipulating it with increasing control.
You can't stop this. The future is ours to shape, and the past is our weapon. The Syndicate will remake time in its image.
Back in the present, Flynn and Caius struggle to keep up with the cascading events. They begin to realize that the paradox has grown too large. There's no longer a single timeline to repair. They must coordinate across multiple eras simultaneously, or risk losing everything.
We're not just fixing events anymore. Time itself is unraveling at the seams. Every moment is connected, and if we don't solve this now, it's over.
Flynn and Caius rush to synchronize their efforts across time, reaching out to historical figures, correcting key events in a frantic race against time. But with every move they make, the paradox becomes more unpredictable.
Flynn volunteers, knowing that there's no other way. He steps into the heart of the paradox, a swirling maelstrom of history and future events. Time warps around him, images of all possible realities flashing before his eyes. Flynn, voice steady but full of resolve. If I don't make it out, tell them we tried.
As Flynn works from inside the paradox, the others continue their battle with the Syndicate. Caius and the rest of the team fight through waves of Syndicate agents, pushing them back as Flynn attempts to stabilize the fracture from within.
We've got to hold them off long enough for Flynn to succeed. There's no second chance here.
In the end, it comes down to a single moment. Flynn, working against the flow of time itself, finds the root cause of the paradox, a key event that the Syndicate altered long ago. He restores it, bringing balance back to the timelines. But as he does, the paradox collapses in on itself.
Flynn barely escapes, tumbling back into the present just as the swirling chaos of the paradox fades away. The team regroups, exhausted but victorious. History is saved, for now. But they know that the Syndicate is far from defeated.
You did it, Flynn. We're back, for now.
The Syndicate won't stop. They'll try again, and next time, we might not be so lucky.
The paradox is repaired, but the battle is far from over. The Syndicate's ambitions remain, and our team must be more united than ever to prevent the next catastrophe. Will they be able to stop the Syndicate before time is rewritten for good? Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter of. Subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss the next twist in this epic story. Until next time, keep exploring the shadows of time.
Welcome back to where today we reach the climactic finale of. Our journey through time has brought us to this moment, Chapter 8. After countless battles, betrayals and paradoxes, the team faces their greatest challenge yet. The Syndicate's leader has been revealed, and now the future of time itself hangs in the balance. Will our heroes save history, or will time be lost forever? Let's find out. The world feels heavier today. Time fractures echo through the air, distorting reality itself. Our team stands at the edge of the greatest battle they've ever faced. A battle that will decide not just their fate, but the fate of all timelines.
This is it. We've chased the Syndicate across centuries, fixed fractures, and faced betrayal. Now, it all comes down to this moment.
You think you understand time, but you are nothing but fleeting moments. I've seen eternity, and I will shape it in my image. All timelines will bend to my will.
Each traveler is thrown into different points in time, forced to fight their way through key moments in history that Seraphine is manipulating to her advantage.
I won't let her win. If she rewrites this timeline, the future will be lost. I have to stop her, no matter what.
Rome wasn't supposed to fall like this. Seraphine's altered too much. If I don't stop her now, all of this will be rewritten, wiped out.
Caius, meanwhile, is thrust into the heart of ancient Rome. Gladiators battle in the Colosseum, but the timeline is collapsing. Emperor statues shift, turning to dust as history crumbles. He charges through the chaos, slashing through the Syndicate's enforcers, determined to protect the future he's sworn to uphold. He reaches a key moment where Seraphine has altered the assassination of Julius Caesar. If Caius doesn't correct it, the fall of Rome and the eventual rise of Western civilization will cease to exist. Seraphine's influence is everywhere. For every timeline they repair, she creates two more fractures. It's an endless, brutal struggle. But the time travelers know that there's no going back. This is their final stand.
Seraphine, it ends here. You've lost control. The timelines are falling apart.
I control time, Flynn. You cannot stop what's already set in motion.
With the fate of all timelines hanging in the balance, Flynn makes a desperate move. He taps into the very core of the time stream, pulling from the knowledge they've gained through their journey. If he can isolate the root of the paradox, he can end this once and for all. But it means making a sacrifice.
No, you can't.
But it's too late. Flynn severs the connection between Seraphine and the time stream. The paradox collapses, timelines begin to stabilize, but there's a cost. Reality reverts back to normal, but the time travelers are left stranded. The timelines have been restored, but their ability to return to their original lives is gone. Flynn stares at his hands, realizing what he's done.
We saved time, but we can never go back.
The team looks around at the stabilized timeline, knowing they've done their job. But the cost of saving history was everything they knew. They are now wanderers in time, forever bound to protect it, but never able to return to the lives they left behind.
And so the battle is won. Time has been saved, but at a great cost. Our heroes must now accept their fate as eternal guardians of history, forever moving through the shadows of time. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures to come. This may be the end of one story, but there's always another chapter waiting in the shadows. Until next time, this is signing off.